basketball season because of the coronavirus pandemic and the ensuing shutdown. The NCAA tournament did not occur. We certainly know that the Hogs would have been dancing, and so would have been the Oregon State Beavers. And that also includes the newest Razorback, Destiny Slocum, joining us on halftime here. So, Destiny, I appreciate you joining us on this Monday across Arkansas. Where are you speaking to us from, and what has quarantine life been like for you?
I'm still in Corvallis right now. It's been interesting. It's weird to not have any gyms open or anything like that, so pretty much just relying on the outdoors, which I don't know if you know Oregon, but it can be a little bit up and down when it comes to the weather, so a little difficult.
I hear it rains a lot in Corvallis. So, yeah, getting outside to play basketball is a little rough right now, huh?
Yeah, no, it's especially right now. It's very overcast and just raining, so you got to fight through it, though.
So the decision to go to Arkansas, it seems to us that it would be a very easy decision because of the position that you play. That's a spot Arkansas right now is looking for. Your relationship with Mike Neighbors, getting into the SEC. Is it really as easy of a decision as it seemed, or was this a difficult decision that you had to think on for a while?
I think in general, just it being my last year, being able to be in college basketball is already going to make it difficult. But I think the easy thing is that Coach Neighbors is someone that I've trusted for a really long time, and there's probably not another coach that I trust more with my last year of college basketball to not only, develop me, but put me into a system where there's an awesome team around me as well as an awesome staff that's going to help me develop and get better. And, I trust him and I trust the team, and I've already made great relationships and had great conversations with a lot of people there. And so I'm really excited. I feel like it was pretty easy, once you talk to him, once you get to know the players, they made it pretty easy for me.
You and Mike have known each other for a long time, and I guess the third time's the charm for Nabes to be able to land you finally, because trying to recruit you to Washington and also to Arkansas the first time around, but didn't work out. But like you're talking about, you have this level of trust with him that you've established over these years. It's very interesting to hear about relationships between coaches and players that didn't work out initially for you to work together, but here it is 4 and 5 years later, and you're going to work together in a position that you probably couldn't have dreamed this is how it was going to work.
Yeah, no, I wanted to play for him for a really long time. Since he was at every single one of my, travel ball games, we've always had this really good relationship. And I think when you have that with someone, I don't think that really ever fades. And I think it was tough because our timing really never worked out. That was kind of the difficult thing, is the stars never really aligned. And right now it's like they almost perfectly aligned, that it's like, wow, did we have to go through that to have this amazing, 1 year? Of course, I wish I could have more time with him, but, we might even just cherish it even more, And I think that throughout, the recruiting process, it's so difficult, to find authentic and real, individuals, because every day it feels like you're listening to someone go, I didn't get what I was told, or this and this and this, But I felt like from the beginning that, he has never faltered and never changed. Our first phone call, when I saw his name pop across my phone, once I entered the portal, and he just started off by saying, I have no hard feelings at all, it didn't work out the other 2 times, but I would love to coach you now, and that was, I think, a moment for me where I was like, that's what I needed to hear, from him, because I was excited to possibly come play at Arkansas, and now to get the chance is just amazing.
Speaking to Destiny Slocum here on Halftime, the newest women's basketball graduate transfer player. Destiny, just speak a little bit about your time in Oregon State. You went to the Sweet 16 twice. Just talk about your career up to this point, right before you come to Arkansas.
I've played on 2 amazing teams. I started my career off at Maryland. We got knocked out pretty early there in Sweet 16. Played my sophomore and junior year at Oregon State. We I have to think back, man. I'm getting kind of old now. My my sophomore season of basketball, we lost to Louisville in the Sweet 16 again. So I haven't really made it past the Sweet 16. And then obviously this year things were cut short. But, at Oregon State, I loved my team. Amazing, and happy for the memories and the moments that I've had here, and couldn't be more grateful for those. But excited to, start my career with Arkansas and finish it there, and just kind of be able to get around the team. I mean, I'm antsy for it. Excited to just be able to, compete and create memories with them. And so, I mean, my career up to now, has been amazing, and I've met amazing people, and a lot of relationships have been built that I'll have for the rest of my life, and I'm ready to continue that here at Arkansas.
I think the one thing that you'll bring to Arkansas is experience and leadership, and that's one thing. While Arkansas lost 2 seniors and 2 other players to the transfer portal, Arkansas has an experienced team, but you're also bringing in that experience of your own. So just talk a little bit about how you plan to maybe blend your experience with an already experienced team.
Yeah, no, they have a lot of experience. I mean, you can see that the leadership is there. And, I'm not coming in to be the only leader. I want to be a part of a team, and my voice, I understand, is going to be important. I mean, this is my 5th year, technically, of college basketball, even though I sat out my redshirt year. I mean, I still count it. The lessons that I've learned just over the last 4 years is I do have some wisdom, and I do, I think bring a leadership role just in general, being a point guard. That's what it comes with, is everyone has to be on the same page in every way, on the floor, off the floor. Are we getting things done in every aspect, And I think that when we hold ourselves, accountable as leaders, it just trickles down to everyone else. And so, that's what I want to bring, is someone who leads by example, but, isn't afraid to say the hard things, because, I know how much potential and how good this team is that I'm about to go to, and I know that there's people like Chelsea Dungy and Amber Ramirez who have really, been great leaders for the Arkansas team. And I want to just join them and, all the rest of the seniors in really guiding and helping them and helping us, get to the best place possible.
Hey, you've played with Amber before, correct? I know I'd seen where Mike called her and asked her and Chelsea's opinions, and Amber's response was not only did she have a relationship with you, but a great relationship with you. So expound upon your relationship with Amber Ramirez and what it was like to play with her and what you can see, in 1 year working together in college basketball.
Yeah, no, me and Amber actually go way back. I mean, I remember going on an unofficial visit to Washington with her. We've played at a ton of Chris Hansen camps together and against each other. And I think we've always just had this very, distant but really awesome relationship. And it's awesome that we finally get together. We both talked about it. We were like, man, maybe we were both meant to play together at some point. And it's crazy how the stars aligned on that, too, is just, I love her competitive fire. And I think that's something that we've always resembled in our personalities, is just hard work and our work ethic. And I think that's what brings us, to have such a great relationship. When she reached out for the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, I miss this and I need this, in my life. And I love our relationship, and I'm excited, to get to play with her and a ton of other people, excited that they wanted me to be a part of their team, and just excited to expand on these relationships as well.
Can you tell me if there's a difference? And you mentioned you're going to be rare here to play in 3 different Power 5 conferences over the course of your career. What did you find as the difference between Big Ten and Pac-12? And what do you potentially think could be the differences between Pac-12 strengths and weaknesses and what you'll see in the SEC?
Yeah, no. I think initially my biggest transition from Big Ten to Pac-12 was probably honestly just the style of play. I think in the Big Ten, every night you can take, especially when you're playing at Maryland, I mean, they usually dominate the conference. And there would be, one team we scout really hard for, Ohio State was at the time because they had Kelsey Mitchell. But then there was games that we maybe didn't scout as hard. And I think in the Pac-12, every night is a battle, because I feel like every team in the Pac-12, you have no idea what they're going to bring. I mean, if you've seen the rise of Arizona, they used to be at the bottom of the Pac-12, and Adias brought them to be, a prominent force in the Pac. And so it's almost like every team has gotten so much better there. And I think to be able to mentally be prepared every game as well as physically, I mean, the demand that takes to play in the Pac-12 on your body physically is absolutely insane. And, I mean, these coaches, like I think about playing Stanford, I mean, they know every in and out of your game, and they're going to challenge you to go to your weakness pretty much every time. And so your weaknesses almost have to be as strong as your strengths and a lot of times. And so I feel like that was my biggest jump. And also, you know, just developing and growing over a year is, you know, people learn you, they have film on you. And I think the Pac-12 coaches do a really good job of scouting. What I've heard about the SEC, I mean, I have a pretty close teammate from Maryland who plays at Georgia. And so from what I've watched, you know, and heard about the SEC is just the speed of the play, you know. It's very up and down. It's very in transition. And sometimes in the Pac-12, it can be very slow and methodical, and it's more like a thinking process of the game. And so I feel like that's different steps, you know, that are going to change a little bit. But other than that, I mean, I feel like conferences have a lot in common. I think that playing the game in general is always going to be kind of the same, but the speed of the SEC for sure is going to be something much different than the Pac-12.
You know for certain you're not going to have to worry about playing slow, playing for Mike Neighbors' team. Yeah, that's for certain. And people will ask, and we'll close on this, people will ask, you know, what position are you going to play? Well, you're a guard, right? For most teams, you're a guard. For Mike Neighbors, you're a racker. Now, I know you haven't played for Mike, but you know him well. Explain what that means, as you will be a racker for this Arkansas team.
Yeah, no, I'm still obviously learning everything, but you know, from my experience, it's like a racker, someone who gets to the rim, either is going to score or create for others, you know. And there's not really a position, not really a point guard. You're, you know, just how you called it, a racker. And I think, you know, throughout my time I was very naive as a freshman, you know. I came into Maryland, I was like, I'm a point guard, and I'm only a point guard because I had only played point guard my entire life. And then I kind of, once I left Maryland and I came to Oregon State, I played a little bit of our wing, and I was kind of like in shock at first. But then I realized that there's parts of my game that developed over playing on the wing as well. And so I feel like I'm excited because, in general, I feel like I can play pretty much any position on the outside arc. I mean, I might get in there and play the 5 a little bit, might have to post up, who knows. But I think in general, just being able to create for others and, you know, score when it's needed, I think that's the most important part.
Destiny, you're a lot of fun talking basketball with. Really appreciate your time. Looking forward to watching you play once the season gets started. Good luck in the off season, and hopefully we'll all be to campus together sometime soon.
Well, thank you for having me.
You got it. That's Destiny Slocum, the newest Arkansas women's basketball player, joining us here on Halftime. Hey, you know what's coming?